Angus, what's the mood around the team like, having arrived in Perth and having this week off? How are you all going?
Look, it's a new experience for all of us in a heap of different ways. Obviously, the footy stuff is, we've earned the right to have a week off, which is, I think, a great effort. We're also, playing finals over in Perth and living out of a hub, so that's different as well. But the mood is overall, at this point in the week, we're trying just to relax, to disengage from football, because I think the tendency is for blokes to get excited for these big games, obviously, but the reality is we're a while off playing. So for now, we're just recovering, resting, and we'll start gearing up for the prelim in a couple of days' time. I think we've got a session Friday, so it's good. The sun's shining, better than what it's probably in at Melbourne, so we're very, very lucky to be able to be over here and to continue to play.
As far as the restrictions that you're living under, what are the details of life for you at the moment?
I forget that you guys wouldn't really have much of an idea about all that stuff. It seems normal to me coming back from Melbourne, but we've got a fence around our hotel compound, so no one's allowed to escape or run away. We get to go to the training ground. I think is it West Perth is the waffle team, so they've got great facilities there. We're very lucky to have a real big ground and gym that we can get into. I think we get there 3 hours a day or something like that. So we're very lucky with that. We've got a great big pool here, so we can do our recovery. Some grounds so we can walk around and stuff. But yeah, we're basically locked in with a 2-week hotel quarantine, more or less. So it's interesting, blokes finding different ways to keep themselves entertained, but we're managing well so far.
Hey Gus, you mentioned how you're trying to disengage, but how difficult is it to disengage when there's so much hype and you must feel the support back in Melbourne as well?
Oh, absolutely, Clint. I think, it's hard to put into words just how acutely we're all missing our supporters. And to be clear, the West Australian contingent of Melbourne supporters is very strong. We're very, very excited to have all them come to the games. But obviously the bulk of our supporters are back home in Melbourne, so we're missing them dearly. Footy's just not the same. I think people would have said this for the last couple of years, but the longer footy goes on without fans, the more acutely we're all aware that it's not the same without them. We're really only playing for the supporters and bringing them pride and happiness. So we're certainly missing them. As it goes for disengaging, there's a whole different range of ways to do that. We've got a basketball court down that we can shoot a few hoops at. We've got a few keen basketball players. I've probably become the best basketball player in the club, if I'm just speaking honestly with all of you. So that's exciting for me. I've also got uni going on, so studying. Bought a few books. There's something for everyone. The club have been really good at facilitating that. We've got a whole different range of activities that have been organised. The balance is not over-scheduling things, so you give people a chance to relax, but I think we've got a really good mix. The coaches and Frosty and Richo have done a great job of making sure that there's options for people who want to do stuff, and then also an opportunity just to chill out and relax for blokes who are that way inclined.
And can I just ask one more, Gus, just in regards to your great mate and a bloke who's been a mentor of yours for a long time, and that's Jonesy. How does he sort of cope playing that support role? And it's a crucial support role, obviously. And secondary to that, he's obviously got a bit on his mind, given Jerry's quite heavily pregnant with twins.
Yeah, geez, he's been incredible, absolutely incredible. I think it's hard for me to, I'm not a father, I don't have twins on the way, so I can't empathise with him, but I can certainly imagine he'd be under an incredible amount of stress from that perspective. And for him to come and devote himself to the team the way he has, he's helping our young blokes so well, and you wouldn't know. I mean, obviously he wants to play and he's working his ring off to make sure that he's giving himself the best chance. He really wants to be a part of this group, and but there's no negativity, there's no selfishness. It's all what's best for the team. So I'm super proud of him. I'm not envious of the position he's in. He's got to choose between footy and family potentially if it sort of breaks that way. But the impact he has in our group is is profound, and I'm so proud of the way he's handling it. And you know, to be clear, there's other blokes in that position as well who are sort of hanging on the outside and not being able to get a look in. So I think that's a really fortunate position to be in as a group. We've got a really healthy list, and blokes are really stiff not to be playing at the moment, which is, you know, it's you know, people say it's a good position to be in, and it is from a performance perspective. But it's also, as a teammate and a friend, it's hard to, you know, see blokes miss out when they, you know, could well be playing. So I'll leave that all to the selection committee and Goody, and he can take care of all that. And I'll just keep focusing on playing footy, I guess.
Gus, just on Nathan Jones, there's a bit of talk about him being the sub if you guys do make the grand final. Where does that sit with you? And is it a sentimental thing, or does that sort of just not count come grand final?
Lex, the sentimentality stuff I've sort of heard a little bit of, and I think that's people who say that sort of thing, like that he'd be given a game as a sub, would really discredit the amount of work that he's done. I honestly can say I've never seen anyone devote themselves more totally to playing great AFL football than what Nathan Jones has done this year. His commitment to his health and his diet and his preparation and his strength conditioning and his craft as a footballer has been unmatched. And if he, you know, gets a game, sub or not, he will have 100% earned it. So there's no sympathy medal. There's no, and let's be also very clear, we've got to get through a prelim as well, which is so we're sort of looking ahead here a little bit, which is something that is probably not great to do, but Jonesy has absolutely earned, and this is over his entire career as well. He's earned every single thing that he's got, and I'm sure he'll, you know, give himself the best chance to be playing. So there's no, you know, Goody's always been trying to pick the best team. I don't think that's going to change now. And as to who gets picked, you know, that'll remain to be seen.
It's a part of finals, but how do you go with not knowing who you're playing next? How do you guys prepare for that?
So it's as I was saying before, it's a unique position for us. I can't even remember the last time we won a qualifying final and had this, this week off. But it sort of ties into what I was saying about disengaging. I think that's the key. Getting caught up in the footy math and playing out all the different scenarios would be, you know, really draining. So, and the coaches have driven this. Goody's been great with this, is just trying to switch off and not really talk about too much footy at the moment. I had a uni test this morning, which I nailed, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I've been practicing my golf swing in my room, and golf's a whole different another story, but just different things to just take your mind off that, because look, if we start thinking about who's going to win now the game, then start preparing for a hypothetical opponent, then we're not doing ourselves any favours. We're probably spending some mental energy that we could be saving, and I think that's the whole point. You work so hard to get this opportunity to have a week off, and the idea is to maximise your rest, not cook yourself. So the coaches have driven that really well, and we're really making the most of this recovery period.
Angus, Justin Lepage said this morning that you guys have one hand on the cup, and there would be others, I guess, who would agree with that. How does that sit with you?
Well, one hand on the cup is probably doesn't sit great with me. Goody's been all year. Goody has said it is hard to win games of AFL football, no matter who you play. You have to really respect your opponent, and there's no easy games. And that, if we're being honest, goes to a whole new level when finals comes around. So, people who think a team is already, not necessarily even us, a team is a shoe-in to win the flag. They're probably underselling how hard it is to win games of football, and I think that's something that our group certainly hasn't lost sight of. The game against Brisbane was a really hard-fought game, and I'm certain whoever we play next is going to be of the same sort of ilk. It's going to be hard no matter who we play. The teams at this end of the season are there for a reason, and we're going to prepare as best we can for whoever it is. So, as to say who's got a hand on the cup, I think it's way too early to be talking about that. Let's talk about that, after the final siren, if whoever's there.
How do you feel about that all happening in Perth?
Oh, I love Perth. I am born in Perth, for those who don't know. So I've got a lot of family here. The sun's shining. Winter seems to be a little bit warmer. My brothers all live here as well. So, I'm loving it over here. It's the one thing that, as much as I love it, it's really hard because very, very forefront of my mind is all the people that are still stuck in Melbourne that we've left behind. All our fans, as I said before, the bulk of our fans are obviously in Melbourne. And it's hard to, what's the best way to say this? It just isn't the same without all our supporters to share in this experience. I reflect on 2018, and some of my fondest footy memories were playing finals in front of our home crowd and our home fans, and to not have them there, and I'm speaking on behalf of our whole club now, it's just not the same without them. So whilst we're loving and very grateful for the opportunity to come here and continue to play, and I obviously love Perth, it makes me sad that there's so many people we've left behind at home who won't be able to share in the experience with us. And hopefully this it seems like it's been forever we've been saying, hopefully this COVID stuff sorts itself out nice and quick, and we can go back to playing footy in front of our home fans. But in the absence of that, we're going to be trying to make them proud, and hopefully they can all sort of get some sort of happiness out of the journey that we're going on at the moment, because they're doing it tough over there.
How are you enjoying your footy on the wing, Angus? Coming from the ball-winning role, the inside role that you had, you seem to be really relishing that role.
Yeah, absolutely. Ed Langdon and I have started up the Wingers Club, which has really taken off. We were trying to pick a theme song the other day, and we were tossing up between Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing. We're going to rename it the Sultans of Wing, and we feel like that's probably what we're going with at the moment. So we've got a little theme song going on, which is great. And as far as the role change goes, I think something that I have always wanted, that I've always felt really strongly, is is just winning games. And from the second I got drafted, I've felt like personally, it's like I don't really care as much about how I'm going in terms of touches and disposals, and more just trying to focus on how I can help the team win. In the past, that's been as an inside midfielder, and certainly something that I've grown up being inside midfield. But now as a winger, I still feel like I'm impacting the game and affecting us winning, just in a different way. So I get a great deal of satisfaction out of watching our inside guys go at it. I'm so proud of the way that you look at Clayton Oliver. He's won just about every award there is to win this year. Christian Petracca, and I could go on, but it doesn't really bother me where I'm playing so much as we're winning, and that's been happening this year, and long may it continue. I think we've all really focused on mastering our respective roles this year, and I think that's gone a long way to us, performing so well as a team. And the winger role is something that I've had to sort of learn, and I joked about Ed before, but he's been terrific in helping me in that sense. Adam Uze, our midfield coach as well, and I feel like I'm improving in that role, and I've got a decent grip on it. So every week that's what I go out and try and do, is just nothing special, just execute the wing role. It's an important role for our team. So I'm quite enjoying it, and I'm loving winning.
Last couple for Gussie, guys.
Angus, each AFL ground, I'm sure, evokes a bit of a different memory and feeling when you're sort of walking into it. And the history you guys have had of Optus, you've had a lightning strike this year, you had the season standstill last year. What's your personal feeling sort of walking into Optus Stadium?
I love Optus Stadium. I think it's an unbelievably world-class facility, and the ground's terrific. It's always in good nick. I feel like when it's packed out, it's almost like an amphitheatre a little bit. The atmosphere is incredible. We've had some highs and some lows there, and I think, I don't know if they made an announcement on where all that stuff's going to be. So look, I think it really, if you reflect back on the dream time at the G game earlier in the year, it was it's really lived up to expectations of such a big game. So I'm certain that wherever we end up playing, Optus will absolutely make up for it. What's it, 50 odd 60,000, something like that. So that's a big crowd for us, and hopefully we get it packed out.